Original.
Hello and welcome to Web Crawlers, the podcast where we do a deep dive into some of our favorite mysteries. Each week we will introduce our topic, lay out our research and findings, reveal some conspiracy theories, conclude with our own hypothesis, and maybe even solve a case.
Ooh.
Hell yeah.
Back by
It's back,
popular
baby.
demand. I am Allie Siegel.
I am Melissa Stettin.
And I, producer Maria.
We should have said this on the last episode, May 16th. This episode's coming out Tuesday, so this will be a belated...
So 2 days ago.
Yeah, happy belated birthday,
How was
Maria.
your birthday?
How was your birthday?
Maria?
It was so great. Thank you guys. It was
Good.
so fun. It was something very unexpected happened.
Ooh.
Melissa, who are our patrons for today?
We've got Rachel, Kat, and Julia.
That might be a Kate.
Oh my God. K-A-I-T.
I think that's a Kate.
Wow. I'm
Maybe
blind.
short
That's
for
a Kate.
Caitlin.
Ooh.
That's a Kate.
You know why? Because that's short for Caitlin. Yeah.
Yep.
I think it's short for
K-A-I.
Caitlin.
Well, I'm just going to go. I'm done. I'm just going
Yeah,
to.
leave. And just so you guys know, I bought an EMF reader, and on the Patreon, I am going to start doing some ghost searching videos. And so far, no ghosts in my home.
Well, there was something weird that happened with tarot
Yes.
cards.
So I went over my tarot cards and it went on above my tarot cards, a small blip. It went from green to the lighter green. It went yellow for a second and then back to green. I, of course, direct messaged John Tenney immediately and said, what's going on here? And he said, do you have any metallic or gold foil tarot cards? Because that could set it off. And I looked and I do not.
That sounds nice, though. A gold foil tarot card
I know.
sounds
Can
really
you imagine?
expensive.
I know. I don't bathe in luxury
Expensive.
like that. So I've tried during the day. I'm gonna look around at night, and then maybe go to some other places too. Who knows? Maybe I'll go to your house.
Ah.
And Hollywood, your worst nightmare. And Hollywood crime scene might want to do a crossover where we see whose vagina is most haunted. So stay
Haunted
tuned.
pussy is
Yes.
the correct term that
Exactly.
Rachel used.
So our episode today, as usual, a little bit bizarre because it's one of my episodes.
As usual.
As usual. So recently, I'm sure you've seen this online, on Twitter, somewhere. Kat Dennings, the actress from Two Broke Girls and Marvel movies, among other things, announced her engagement to the singer, Andrew WK.
Screamer.
Yeah, the screamer, Andrew WK. And I realize he's very famous. I've obviously heard his name before, but I have never had any idea who he is. I don't know.
You've never heard his music?
No, I don't know who he is. I don't know what he does. I'm very confused. All I know is that he says party all the time. I'm kind of afraid of him.
When
I
it's
don't
time to
get
party,
it.
we will party hard.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I just I don't get it.
I was obsessed with him
Really?
when I was in high school. Or
When you were, a
even- I
raver?
don't- Yeah. Well, back in early 2000s.
I remember him at the MTV Video Music Awards.
Did he do something weird or crazy? Did he party?
Didn't he have blood on his shirt or something?
So that was a thing. That's part of it. We'll talk about that too. So then I also found out my friend Hillary messaged me that there's all these conspiracy theories that he actually doesn't exist and is multiple different people. So, and we'll get into that. So there's, according to Reddit, Andrew WK is a quote unquote fabricated piece of performance art concocted by a secret organization, and he's actually performed by multiple people.
Look, I'll say this. When I saw a picture of him recently when he was engaged, I was like, I don't remember him. I was like, he's kind of hot.
So then I started looking at pictures of him through time, and I'm like, he looks so different in all of these
I was
photos.
like, this is weird. This is weird.
He looks incredibly different, and he also looks the same age. He has not aged at all. He looks like the Andrew WK he was in the 90s.
Yeah,
and
he does.
And was born in 79. So I'm like, why is this man not aged? So anyways, let's get into it. Who is Andrew WK? What is Andrew WK? Is he one person or is he many? Does he make his own music? Is it someone else? Let's get into it. Okay, so Andrew WK his real name is Andrew Federley Wilkes Cryer. So obviously he abbreviated that to Andrew WK. He was born May 9th, 1979. He's a Taurus king. Taurus is the bull. That's willful individuals with a lot of stamina and confidence. That all checks out.
That's me. I'm a Taurus.
Wow.
You are kind of the Andrew WK of this podcast.
Maria's known for her
I
stamina
know.
Her stamina
on the basketball court, especially.
and her confidence.
No. Are you kidding? But
you guys
see me try and run down a court?
You both have Joker energy. It's true. I bet you guys are the same Myers-Briggs type.
A Joker Taurus is a scary thing to be.
It's a straight anarchist. He was raised in Michigan, just like Melissa.
Ooh. Oh, that's probably why I heard of him so early in his career.
He started his career in the 90s. He's done television, radio work, motivational speaking, which really threw me for a loop. We'll listen to some of it today, and writing. So his dad was a college professor who was super into church, very religious. He'd go to like midnight mass all the time. And so Andrew WK grew up going to midnight mass. And that was kind of like his first exposure to music as a kid, going to church in like the middle of the night and hearing like it was like pitch black. And then you'd hear all these like loud organs and people kind of like singing these like scary hymns. And he was like, wow, music is really cool and transformative. He says that he was taught piano and how to read music before he even knew how to read or write English. So he says like music is his first language, which is like, okay. He went to school for quote unquote bad kids in Ann Arbor, Michigan.
Oh,
because apparently during his adolescence, he got a real rush out of stealing. So he had like a bout with like kleptomania, vandalism, shoplifting. He said he had a lot of anger and hatred towards just like society and everything in general. He got sent to several different child psychologists growing up. He was never diagnosed with anything until the last one said he was diagnosed with a quote unquote devilish side.
Whoa.
Which he's like developed into his persona. So like, I don't even know what that means. A devilish side.
That's weird.
So his parents are like, okay, I guess like our kid has like the devil in him. Basically, he needed an outlet. He's this kid who like has a bad streak, loves shoplifting, is like super angry, but also loves music.
Sounds like me as a kid, honestly.
Like honestly, like by the end of this, I'd date him, and he's also Maria and Melissa. He had this friend named James who took him to a record store, and the record store clerk, this guy Jim Magus, started introducing him to records and all this different kind of music, from like Bach to like heavy metal to, classic, whatever it was, and really started giving him like a musical education. And that's when Andrew really started like getting focused and being really inspired, and was like, okay, I think I want to be a musician. This is what I want to do. And he heard this song called Oh, Superman by Laurie Anderson. And that's the song apparently that inspired him to get into music.
I'll play it.
Little Imogen Heap
I know.
going on here.
Imogen Heap. Well, I like this.
Yeah. So we don't have to play the whole thing, but he was basically like,
What if it's like 20 minutes long?
I honestly feel like
it's
it is.
8 minutes long. That's basically, it's the whole song is like that.
Yeah. So he was like, it's just like a myriad of instruments. It's something he'd like never really heard before. And he felt like it was like a diary entry of someone kind of like singing to herself and like didn't care what it ended up sounding like. And he was like, I want to make music like that.
Funny, because his music sounds nothing like this.
Right? He's like, my biggest influences are Bach and Laurie Anderson. And he's like, it sounds nothing like this, obviously.
However he interpreted that is
exactly.
fine.
Which is funny because I've learned through this that like he has like a really good music education. He just kind of throws it all out the window. Like I think that's part of like
that's what they say to do. That's what they like in acting. They do your homework and throw it out.
Go to mime school and then never use it again. Because you're a barista now. Okay, so at age 18, he moves to New York, not knowing anyone. He just has this dream of becoming like some sort of star. His parents, though, are super supportive. He has like all these weird jobs. Apparently, he was a bubblegum machine salesman, an opera ticket salesman, a fashion photographer. I also found a bunch of modeling photos of him, so I think he was a model. A window decorator at Bergdorf Goodman's, a milkshake maker, yum, and a waiter for a restaurant. And then also he worked at Comme des Garçons, and also like a whole bunch of other different jobs.
What's Comme des Garçons?
It's like a luxury store. It's like a fashion. Have you ever seen those like sweatshirts people wear and it has like the little heart with eyes on it?
Oh, yes. Is that what that is? I always
Marcus
wondering what's going on
Lemonis
over there.
Marcus Lemonis.
Yeah, that's
wears
what Marcus
those.
Lemonis.
Yeah.
Wow.
So anyways, then he's living with a complete stranger. He has this like mutual acquaintance. He got set up like Craigslist style kind of to like live with this guy. He's living on his couch in the living room. They become friends. He's like painting. That's like his first like outlet there because he doesn't know anyone music wise. And then he just starts putting his energy towards music and he is saying yes to any gig he can get. And apparently his first major gigs were at Starbucks. So I guess at the Starbucks in New York, they hired a keyboard player to, I guess like in the afternoon or something, like play keyboard at the Starbucks. And Andrew WK would go there and like play keyboard in the afternoon.
Are there any of those recordings? I'd love to hear that.
I don't know. I couldn't find any. I only found his real songs, which I literally had never heard, which is crazy. So then his first like real EP was in 2000 called Girls Own Juice. And then his first album was called I Get Wet.
Oh yeah, I love that album.
Yeah.
I have
some songs in here. You can play one of these songs if you want for anyone else who is not well versed in Andrew WK.
I would say
like
the
me.
most popular song.
Or you play whatever you think. You're the super fan.
Is that the album Party Hard is on?
Yeah, I Get Wet is Party Hard.
It's like such a good pop song.
When it's time to party, we will party hard.
It is kind of Bach sounding.
Yeah, it is.
You know what we like what we do. Let's get a party going, let's get a party going. When it's time to party, we will party hard.
It's very like English punk. Like I feel like he's gonna start saying like
Yeah.
oi, oi, oi.
Yes. So that's basically every song on the album sounds exactly like this.
It's not that I
Party
thought.
song.
I thought he just screamed. I thought like he
Well,
was like
it's
death metal.
Kind of scream singing.
Yeah. I mean, maybe all his songs. I didn't listen to like all of them.
They're good.
Eventually from that album, he gets signed to an independent label and he gets this like takes on this persona as like partying is his thing. So he calls himself the Mary Poppins of partying. He feels good. He makes people feel good. He goes where the party is needed. He believes you can get the full human experience through partying. He also calls himself the Tony Robbins of partying.
Sure.
I found this article from Vice where they ask, like, what is a party? Because honestly, I'm confused.
Asking the hard questions, the Ali
That's
Siegel
an Ali
question.
Siegel question. Because honestly, like, when I thought of Andrew WK, I think I was scared of him because I'm like, okay, is he always on like coke and ecstasy and like wasted and like throwing up? Like, I don't understand, what is this party
Well, I have
thing?
a T-shirt of his face. I don't know where it is, but it's his face. But he has a bloody nose. It's just like blood dripping down his face.
I get there.
I gotta find that T-shirt.
That's part of it. It was for one of his albums. But so he says like partying has nothing to do with like drinking necessarily. He says a party in some ways, this is to Vice, is an event that involves active expressions of gratitude and celebration regarding something specific, whether it's a holiday, the weekend, whatever. But in the larger sense, or maybe the simpler sense, you can party about the ultimate event, which is just being alive. Being alive is a party.
Wow. I love this.
I know. In that way, it's a mindset that is continuous. It's my desperate struggle and effort to live that way.
Wow.
And later in the article, he reveals that he's sober. So this bro doesn't even drink or use drugs. I mean, obviously he did, but like, so he's just living like his party is just like gratitude and celebration for every day. So I'm like, okay, I get it. Like I'm on board with Andrew WK now.
He also wears white pants and a white T-shirt, white jeans and white T-shirt,
which is a little culty in my opinion. But I think there is like a cult of Andrew WK in this like party lifestyle. This article for Vice is like from Munchies. So they get more into partying and like how to party like Andrew WK. And they ask about like food and things like that. He says you should not eat before you party.
Because there's going to be snacks at the party.
Yes, because there might be snacks at the party. And then also he says post-party ritual is to gorge. So it's always fun after the party to gorge with your friends or alone when you get home.
Good point.
So that's
good point.
Yes, he has it. So he also says he likes sweets. He likes carbs, cookies, chocolate, candy, ice cream, milkshakes.
Hell yeah.
He also
Party.
likes cheese, pasta. Like, yeah, I love this guy. Also, in his Power of Partying tour, he's sponsored by pizza. And so
pizza.
Every tour is going to have a pizza where everyone can have pizza. Incredible.
That's so nice.
Yeah. And Vice asked him, has being sober impacted your ability to party? He said, I think to a large degree, every state of mind counts. And I love alcohol very, very much and really enjoyed all the insights it provided, all the different points of view and all the textures it gave to experiences. I thought it was fantastic, but there's no real prerequisite necessary to this party mindset other than deciding life is good and celebrating that.
Hell yeah. Let's go.
What?
Let's party.
This sounds too good to be true. What's the downside of this guy?
Exactly. I'm like, is he my soulmate? So then I found out about the blood on the nose and the shirt. It was for a album cover. He said to achieve the effect, and it was like, I think this might have been pre-sobriety because according to Wikipedia, the album was kind of shunned in Europe because people thought that the blood coming from his nose and on the shirt was about like cocaine and violence, and they were like, we don't like that. But Andrew WK apparently, I know, cops, dorks, struck himself in the face with a cinder block repeatedly during the photo shoot.
Oh my God.
I feel like he has like Steve-O Jackass vibes also to me. Like like Johnny Knoxville. It didn't lead to enough blood flow, so he got his own blood and animal blood at a butcher shop and threw it on himself.
You can use fake blood.
Yeah, fake blood.
That's not the Andrew WK way. And he started that became just kind of like part of his thing. Also, just some side facts about him that I thought were weird. He appeared on the finale of Kathy Griffin, My Life on the D-List. They went on a few dates.
Favorite.
Oh, I
Love
didn't
that
see
show. Seriously, you've never watched the reality show?
It's
My Life as
fantastic.
Next? It's the best.
It's so good.
So good.
And then also, and this we'll talk about this more later, Andrew unfortunately has some Fox News Breitbart ties, which is part of the bad part. He was on Red Eye with Greg Gutfeld a few times.
My ex-boyfriend.
Oh my God, really? In addition to other Fox News things. And he also has been interviewed by Breitbart and said he was a huge fan of Breitbart. So we'll get into that later in terms of some of the bad stuff. Okay, so as I said earlier, he's also an inspirational, motivational speaker, which I guess is not that surprising given his lust for life and joie de vivre. So in 2005, he announced a self-help motivational speaking tour. He spoke at Yale, NYU, Carnegie Mellon, like Northeastern, among other places.
Wow.
This part threw me for a loop. In June 2012, he announced that he would be appearing at the My Little Pony Friendship is Magic fan convention at Canterlot Gardens. His appearance was announced that he would lead the seminar, How to Party Like Pinkie Pie. I guess one of the My Little Ponies is named Pinkie Pie. And so he went to the My Little Pony convention, which I assume is mostly kids. I don't know. And he led a seminar
I wouldn't
about
be so sure.
Yeah, actually. Yeah. There's that documentary about like My Little Pony cause. The Bronies.
The Bronies.
Weren't they Nazis?
Oh, I don't know.
Were they?
It's possible.
It's a lot of things to be. A brony and a Nazi.
I know.
That's a lot.
And not to mention you're probably a pedo too. Okay, like My Little Pony Bros. Oh yeah, Bronies. Oh, there's a film on it. Bronies, the extremely unexpected adult fans of My Little Pony documentary, 2012.
Wait, who's the director of that documentary?
But who did the Pistol Shrimps documentary?
Brent.
I thought Brent
Hodge.
Didn't he do?
Maybe there's a
do
few.
A brony thing.
A Brony Tale. Brent, the guy who made our Pistol Shrimps documentary.
Okay, yeah, there's a brony tale too.
Yeah.
Wow, so there's a lot of adult. Okay, so there are a lot of adult bronies, and I guess there's probably an Andrew WK crossover as well. It was featured on Rolling Stone as one of like the greatest motivational speeches of all time.
Huh. What?
Yeah.
What did he say?
Of all time?
Girl, I don't know. I made that up. Melissa.
I took that as like it was like a Rolling Stone headline.
Andrew WK at My Little Pony convention. Melissa, I included another video. Andrew WK gave a little motivational speech on shyness. This is the only motivational speech I could find of his.
Hello, my name is Andrew WK, and I'm going to talk a bit about shyness. I have felt uneasy in the world for as long as I can remember. For most of these years, I've been very upset about this uneasy feeling. I thought that I should feel okay, or even great, all of the time. That I should be able to go out in the world and encounter situations and other people and different circumstances with a type of confidence and even happy-go-lucky glee. But I've come now to accept, in a rather quiet, if not slightly melancholy way, that I might always have this uneasy feeling. And maybe, upon closer examination, this uneasy feeling isn't even really bad. It's hard for me to really judge it, actually, at this point, because I felt it for so long, it's just there. As much as I have two eyes on my face, there's a feeling inside of me that has never left. So instead of fighting this feeling, I want to learn to make friends with it. I want to trick myself into thinking that it's good, or at least trick myself into not fixating on it. Because as you are probably aware, when you fixate on this feeling of something being wrong, it seems to amplify it. What's also given me some amount of comfort is imagining that perhaps everybody actually has this feeling. Now, they might not interpret it as uneasiness or shyness or self-consciousness. They might interpret it as an awesome feeling. Or maybe they don't even really think about it at all. It just is what it feels like to be alive. Maybe that intense feeling inside you that is amplified by certain situations, that is brought out and made to feel overwhelming at certain times, is just the feeling of not being dead. And if we didn't have it, we wouldn't even exist.
Okay.
That is
Like, he's not dumb.
fascinating.
So then, okay, so a professor from Oxford, Maria, you will be happy to know, did say, Nick Fowler said, in my opinion, Andrew WK is one of rock and roll's greatest philosophers.
Whoa.
They said, we've seen rock stars, we've seen brilliant public speakers, but rarely are they the same person, and rarely do they have as intriguing and broad a background as Andrew WK.
Wow.
And in 2018, he was named Person of the Year by the American Association of Suicidology, which is a suicide prevention group.
Wow.
He's helping people
That's cool.
out there with his
Yeah.
ideas. Then, unfortunately, there's the Breitbart stuff. He started a political party called the Party Party.
Okay, well, that's cool.
I remember this. I was like, that's cool.
He was interviewed on Breitbart about it in 2016, and he said in the interview, "I'm actually a big fan of Breitbart, and I got to be on an episode of Red Eye. It was a memorable experience. We deserve more than just going on CNN or Fox News or the New York Times. What Breitbart brings to the table is very important. It's unhinged, much like Mr. Breitbart himself was. We could use more of that. Being unhinged is underrated."
Joker.
That's Joker mentality.
Joker energy. Now let's take a short break. Web Crawlers has a Patreon to get access to rewards, bonus episodes, videos a day early, ad-free episodes, shout-outs. Please go to patreon.com/webcrawlers. You can donate as little as $2 a month to become one of our bimbo patrons. Also, next week, all of the swag will be going out that I have. T-shirts, pencils, and pins, and maybe a special little note from yours truly. And maybe I'll put some lipstick on and then kiss the note.
Okay, Marilyn.
Also, please rate and review us on Apple Podcasts. If you give us a 5-star review, we will read it on the show. And also, Erios has a hotline. Insert jingle here.
626-604-6262.
It's really been popping off, and we love to play them on our mini episodes. So please keep calling. As we said, now he's engaged to Kat Dennings. Side note, she consistently dates hot men, I've realized. Tom Hiddleston, all men also that I've had crushes on, almost. Tom Hiddleston, Matthew Gubler, Nick Zano.
Criminal Minds, right?
My Criminal Minds boyfriend. They dated for a long time. And Josh Groban, she's also dated. And they exposed that they were finally dating, she and Andrew WK, by posting on Instagram a photo of themselves kissing in front of the Black Dahlia house.
Damn, that's hardcore.
Wow.
That's the energy that they together bring to the table.
I like that energy.
But now let's
that's
get
like
to the
a
part
synergy.
that we've all been waiting for. That Andrew WK doesn't exist, and he's concocted by a secret organization, and he's not real and has been replaced and played by multiple people. So, and one of those people is believed to be Dave Grohl.
Oh.
So this is from a blog called the Archers Guild. Archersguild.blogspot. We'll put it in our show notes. Things seemed to be going well for Andrew WK until 2004, when someone claiming to be someone called Steve Mike began hacking the official Andrew WK website. The intruder began leaving cryptic messages on the website involving number codes and photos of Mountain Dew cans. And I guess there's like a bunch of websites on the internet that like deciphered these codes. And like it was this huge big thing in 2004. And then once you translated all these codes, it appeared that Steve Mike, it said, had been cut out of Andrew WK's second album, and Steve Mike was not happy about it. So this guy, Steve Mike, is alleging that he's like either a singer or producer or writer of these songs, and he was cut out of the album. And he hacked Andrew WK's website with all these clues. So he made vague threats saying that he was going to expose Andrew WK's quote unquote true identity. And he never followed through with this though. So then this like started this whole rampage of like, what's going on? Who is Steve Mike? Is Andrew WK not who he seems? Like, what happened here? So many start claiming that maybe Andrew WK is an actor hired by music executives. Some think that Andrew WK's dad, James E. Cryer, is actually Steve Mike and had written all of the music.
Oh.
Some people think that Andrew WK is Steve Mike and that it was all just a publicity stunt. Makes the most sense.
That does make sense.
An article in 2000 from, I guess, Dazed and Confused magazine was dug up about Steve Mike, and it included a full-page photo of Andrew WK, where it's like, I guess there was an article about this guy, Steve Mike, and the picture of Steve Mike was Andrew WK. I don't understand. Yeah. So then, in 2004, Andrew WK does a concert in New Jersey, and the fans are like, that guy on stage is not Andrew WK. Like, it looks like Andrew WK.
Oh.
It does. It's not fully him. It doesn't really sound like him. Like, what's going on? And apparently this quote unquote Andrew left stage halfway through the show and never returned.
Whoa.
People on the internet are like, okay, so this must have been when the second Andrew WK started playing Andrew WK. And this was like his first show and he freaked out and left.
Oh.
People think that so far there have been 3 Andrew WKs because they say, like, if you look at photos, that it looks like there's 3 distinct people. Other people are like, no, he's just like aged or cut his hair or like shaved his beard. But other one are like, no, like these aren't the same people. So then though, Andrew WK in 2008 gives this weird speech, and we have a clip of it that we'll play in a second. But it's in 2008, he gives a speech in this London club called Madame Jojo's, and he says, Andrew WK was created by a large group of people. All those people met, and I was there, and we talked about how we could come up with something that would move the people. It was done in the spirit of commerce. It was done in the spirit of entertainment, which usually goes hand in hand with commerce. I was auditioned alongside many other people to fill this role of a great frontman, a great performer. On the one hand, it may be a little scary to admit this to you all, that I may not be exactly who you thought I was, and that the guy who was in fact first hired as Andrew WK is a different person than the guy sitting here on the stage tonight. I'm the next person who is playing Andrew WK.
Whoa.
But then he took that back. So Larry King asks him about it in an interview. Melissa, I sent you the clip if you want to play that.
Get into some other topics. We announced you were going to be here. We got a multitude of blogs and websites dedicated to saying you're a fraud. There are a variety of theories regarding your identity, many claiming that you're no longer the same Andrew WK. The original Andrew WK went somewhere, and a new Andrew WK, that you're not the same person you were. How do you respond to all of this, which is a mystery to me?
Well, I guess I'm always dreading someone asking about this, and especially someone of your stature, but I'm glad in a way as well. I think these sorts of things, first of all, to anyone who's not familiar with me, why does it even matter? And it really doesn't, even if you are familiar with me, because what I hope people take away from me doesn't have to do with whether I even exist or not. For example, this is how I've thought about it to try to make myself feel better about these accusations. If you don't believe that Santa Claus exists, it doesn't mean that the joy that you would receive from the idea of Santa is any less valid.
But how did all this start? Why did they think that you were not the original you?
For better or worse, some of this is based on some bits of truth or facts, rather, and just in terms of
what?
Well, I've said some things that would lead people to these sorts of conclusions that I'm not proud of having said, and decisions that I've made of who to work with.
So you created part of the problem.
I added to it at one point, thinking that sort of by accepting it, it would deflect it.
And then it goes into his speech, so you'll hear the speech in a second.
Andrew WK was created, and this is a bit of a confession. It
was created by a large group of people, and we talked about how we could come up with something that would move people. And it was done in the spirit of commerce. And I was auditioned alongside many other people to fill this role of a great front man, a great performer.
So,
what?
Whoa.
it's on the record, him giving this speech, saying that he was auditioned and that he is not the first Andrew WK. And then he goes on Larry King and doesn't fully deny it.
His response is strange.
Does not confirm nor deny. So there is no real answer. If you continue to look at websites on this, which are indeed more of the same, like people think that there's always like a front man for Andrew WK who looks like Andrew WK. But then people think that maybe Dave Grohl is the one making some of the music.
Because he has long hair.
Singing some of the music or writing some of the music. Like this is some sort of like side project of theirs. Like, and this is all allegedly. So I don't want to. There's also something about
alleged.
No defamation of character here. There's also stuff about like Diane Warren. There's a possibility that Steve Mike, it says, is a group of people all sharing one fictional name. It could be a corporation or company who designed Andrew WK together as a team. Production companies sometimes form bands or invent performers to sing their songs. This is from another blog. They audition different singers, so on and so forth. It says, Andrew WK Inc. owns and operates a company called the Louise Harland Corporation. It is thought that this company could be the inventor and true controller of Andrew WK.
Huh.
It's really bizarre. Somehow they have Diane Warren figured into this, Steve Grohl.
I
mean, Dave.
Steve Grohl's his evil twin brother.
Dave Grohl. Then there's this whole weird like Mountain Dew Sierra Mist thing where it's like, why were those all posted on his website? Like, what's the significance of those sodas?
That interview
as
was
opposed to
weird.
others?
His answers with Larry King. It's like, was he being purposely like elusive, or was
it could all be part of the mystery of it, like just adding to that mystery.
It makes
fascinating.
It makes really like no sense. So, I mean, if you guys know, I mean, I've really tried to do all the investigation I can / understand, being a total newbie to Andrew WK. Granted, like I've literally heard his music for the first time today. There are tons of blogs and websites that really, like, you know how Taylor Swift fans really like go into it and try to investigate everything? There's the same for is Andrew WK real or not, where they like are breaking down all his lyrics. They're breaking down the code of his website. Like they're being crazy. Yeah, this person broke down the code of the website and then translated it into English, like from computer binary code to English, and alleges it's a translation from Andrew WK to Steve. Like, it's crazy. So if you guys have any idea of who Andrew WK is or isn't, or what you think is going on here, Melissa, where can people reach us?
You can email us at webcrawlerspod@gmail.com.
And I'm just going to say this. Sorry, I'm so sorry.
No,
but
you go.
had said that it was in front of the Black Dahlia house that put a real chaotic energy forth. It wasn't. That isn't where they're standing in front of in their.
Oh my God. Oh, really? Where are they?
They're in front of, it looks like a Frank Lloyd Wright house. Maybe it was used in the movie, The Black Dahlia.
Oh, my friend was like, they are kissing in front of the Black Dahlia house.
Oh.
Yeah, the mansion known as the Swoden House is an architectural masterpiece designed by Frank Lloyd's son, Lloyd Wright, and it still stirs up mystery. Come take a tour inside the 5,600 square foot mansion and learn all about its dark past. It's the Black Dahlia house.
Is it in Los Feliz?
Yeah.
But I don't know what the Black Dahlia has to do, because she was in
the guy who is rumored to have murdered the Black Dahlia, this doctor guy, I believe he used to live there.
Oh, got it. I was thinking it was like her house, like where she was, the house she was found in front of.
Yeah, this house was for sale.
Yeah, it's where the alleged murderer lived, and possibly where he
Got
killed,
it. Okay,
and possibly
then
where
I
he killed her.
apologize.
Keep this in. Keep this
Got
in. So, because I want to feel vindicated.
I wasn't saying you did anything wrong. I was just trying to
Not
get to
wrong,
the bottom.
just wrong again.
Oh my god.
It was rumored that she could have been murdered in the basement of this house and then her body transferred.
Okay, well, I had no idea. I had no idea that it went this deep. I thought she was all the way over in like,
She was,
in
but
like
this
the
is a
suburbs of
house-
LA.
The
This
more
house
you
is
know.
really cool, by the way.
It's a gorgeous house. Anyways, crazy story. Who is this guy? But either way, Mazel Tov on his new engagement.
Who is Andrew WK?
Who is he anyway? I am Allie, sobriety party Siegel.
I am Melissa. I like to party hard, Stetton.
And I'm producer Maria Wrong Again Blasucci.
Fuck yeah. Bye.
Bye.